expanses of untouched prairie grasslands. Perfectly preserved landmarks to the spirit of westward expansion. The last remnants of nearly forgotten native cultures. North Dakota lies at the crossroads of American history, where the names of Teddy Roosevelt, General Custer, Lewis and Clark, and Sitting Bull still linger in the whisper of the winds. The years 1800 to 1889 were our nation's boom years, and the Missouri River, cutting a wide, lazy path across the center of North Dakota, was one of the primary highways of travel. Explore the trail blazed by Lewis and Clark. The emergence of free enterprise and trade in the region. The arrival of the military to protect the railroad and western expansion. And the legacy of the pioneer ranchers and farmers. You can begin your travels in North Dakota anywhere you like. Our cities will welcome you in the open arms tradition of the Midwest. Back in the 1800s, when Red River ox carts were the primary means of trading between Winnipeg and St. Paul, the cities of Fargo and Grand Forks were two of the many stopping points in between. These cities anchor North Dakota's east coast, the incomparably rich farmland of the Red River Valley. Although Fargo and Grand Forks are among the state's largest and most metropolitan cities, agriculture is king here. At the city limits, the horizon stretches as far as the eye can see in a perfect patchwork quilt of golden wheat, yellow sunflowers, and brilliant blue flax. Here, you'll enjoy such big city amenities as entertainment, sports, fine foods, and the arts without leaving old-fashioned small-town sensibilities behind. North Dakota's East Coast has everything you'll need, making it an excellent place to begin our tour as we set out across the unspoiled prairies of our state. In Grand Forks, the history of the northern end of the Red River Valley is commemorated at the Myra Museum and Campbell House. Exhibits and displays chronicle the lives of the earliest pioneers to the area, including Tom Campbell, one of the area's first wheat barons. Today, Grand Forks thrives as a center of arts and education, supported by North Dakota's largest university, the University of North Dakota, where you can explore the world's largest civilian pilot training center at the Center for Aerospace Sciences. Cap off an evening in Grand Forks by riding the Dakota Queen, a 150-passenger paddle wheeler open for lunch, dinner, or charter cruises. To the south, North Dakota's largest city, Fargo, pays tribute to its own rich history and several unique museums. Downtown, check out the Heritage Heemkamp Center. The centerpiece of the museum is an authentic, handmade Viking longship. Its name, Heemkomst, means homecoming. And in 1982, the locally built Viking ship set sail across the Atlantic for Norway. Head west to the other end of town for Bonanzaville, an authentic pioneer village packed with the hands-on history of the region. History beckons us west now towards Jamestown. Buffalo. They once roamed the prairie in such numbers the ground shook in their wake. Sadly, the American bison, or buffalo as they are more commonly known, were nearly wiped out as a casualty of westward expansion. Today, they're making a comeback in such places as Jamestown, where a small herd grazes under the shadow of the world's largest buffalo. Weighing in at 60 tons, this gigantic concrete monument watches over a replica frontier village. And the all-new National Buffalo Museum, a museum of artifacts used in buffalo hunter cultures. Nestled in the plains, Strasburg is the hometown of legendary bandleader and entertainer Lawrence Welk. His boyhood home, a simple clapboard and sod house, is preserved for fans and the curious, interested in the rites of turn-of-the-century life on the plains. Our tour of North Dakota continues on to the heart of the state, where Bismarck serves as the capital city. Towering above the gently rolling hills of central North Dakota, one of the most unique state capitol buildings in the country stands watch over the endless prairie. Constructed in the 1930s, the skyscraper of the prairie is a lasting tribute to the predominant architectural trend of the time, Art Deco. North Dakota's State Museum, the Heritage Center, is located nearby on the Capitol grounds. Displays are carefully chosen to reflect the diverse history of this diverse land. The Heritage Center houses the state's official archives and one of the nation's largest displays of Plains Indians artifacts. Bismarck is also the site of the annual United Tribes International Powwow. Over 1,000 contestants from 30 different tribes take part in singing and dancing competitions. One of the largest powwows on the continent, it's been named to the American Bus Association's top 100 events in North America. Here, we begin North Dakota's American Legacy Tour. The majestic Missouri River marks the entry to the West, where you can interpret the very fabric of American history. On June 14, 1872, Fort Abraham Lincoln was established at this site on the Missouri River to protect the pioneers and railroad surveyors blazing their way across the country. This same bluff was for many years the site of the Mandan Indians on a slant village. The Lewis and Clark expedition would camp here in 1804 during their journey up the Missouri River. Portions of On a Slant Village are now on display, with 3 of the original 64 earth lodges reconstructed for visitors. Sections of Fort Abraham Lincoln have also been reconstructed, including the Victorian-style home of the legendary General George Armstrong Custer. Hero, villain, or colorful madman? History may never agree, but you'll see through Custer's own eyes the activities of his beloved 7th Cavalry in the square below. From here, General Custer rode out for the last time to the Battle of Little Bighorn. His last home and his last command have been carefully reconstructed, preserving forever the legacy of this country's most notorious general. Visitors on the American Legacy Tour can relive history riding on a Missouri River paddle wheeler. Or take a trip on an authentic trolley car that once worked the streets of Bismarck. At the southern edge of Fort Lincoln lies the North Dakota Veterans Cemetery, complete with an extensive visitor center and chapel. Head west and you'll travel even further back in time. The unique topography of western North Dakota makes it perfect for fossil hunting. The city of Dickinson has preserved the legacy of these magnificent beasts in the Dakota Dinosaur Museum. Traveling further and further west out of Dickinson, the land grows increasingly rugged, increasingly beautiful. Years ago, General Alfred Sully crossed North Dakota in search of Sioux. Sick and ill-tempered, he called this area Badlands. You'll decide for yourself whether these breathtaking views are heaven on earth or, as General Sully remarked, like hell with the fires burned out. To Teddy Roosevelt, the Badlands were paradise. It was here he came of age and mustered the courage he'd need for the presidency. It was here he shaped his dreams of a conservation movement, observing the rapid deterioration of his beloved Badlands. That's why Theodore Roosevelt National Park was named in his honor, becoming the second leg of North Dakota's American Legacy Tour. Two units of the park preserve this unique slice of heaven. The North unit features spectacular scenery, while Medora, North Dakota's leading tourist destination, serves as headquarters to the popular South unit. An authentically restored pioneer cattle town, Medora gives visitors a genuine taste of the Old West. There are attractions in Medora for the entire family, including the all-singing, all-dancing, all-comedy, and all-Western Medora musical. Visit the famous Pitchfork Steak Fondue for a hearty Old West meal, or just explore the town. Medora has something for everyone. Drive up the west coast of North Dakota and travel even further back in time, where from 1829 to 1867, Fort Union served as the finest trading post of the Northern Plains. A generation before the Indian Wars, Assiniboine, Cree, Crow, Blackfeet, and Sitting Bull's Hunkpapa band of Sioux traded furs and hides for tools and goods with Scots, Germans, French, and Spanish. Social life and accommodations were comparable to those in St. Louis, another 2,000 miles down the Missouri River. Today, Fort Union has been restored to its 1851 appearance, capturing another period of history on the American Legacy Tour. Meanwhile, the Plains Indians' ancient way of life is preserved at Knife River Indian Village, a national historic site set aside to commemorate the American Indians and is the fourth site on the American Legacy Tour. Here, the remains of Indian villages sit alongside the Missouri and Knife Rivers at one of the oldest inhabited sites in North America, dating back 9,000 years. Besides preserving the Hidatsa and Mandan tribes' way of life, Knife River Indian Village is also noteworthy as the site where Lewis and Clark met Sakakawea, who helped guide them safely through her native lands. Once you've explored North Dakota's rich history, you'll want to travel in time back to the present, where you'll find we have a lot to offer guests to our state. It may come as a surprise to some, but gambling is legal in North Dakota. Hotels and nightclubs throughout the state offer limited stakes gambling, while reservation casinos offer an entire range of entertainment and activities. If it's entertainment you're looking for, check out the numerous festivals held in cities throughout the state. Fargo's annual Scandinavian Festival entertains visitors year after year. Or visit Dickinson's annual ethnic celebration in the fall. Minnett's Norsk Kostfest, an annual celebration of Scandinavian culture, music, and cuisine, has also been named to the American Bus Association's top 100 events in North America. Today, the International Peace Garden is dedicated to peace between the United States and Canada, two nations sharing the longest unfortified border in the world. It's a tribute to the hard-fought history of our nation that we can maintain a lasting peace with our closest neighbor. Visit a land where history comes alive and discover the spirit of North Dakota.